不完命只剩下难解的语言。
Yeah, can you check on YouTube?
用睡不休的时间。我给你的爱在的陷阱，什么都没说不了你要骗我。其实这世界有这么
好像 live 了耶。
对呀，它上面已经写 live 了。
哦，那不错不错。
你要 share 你的 slide，the first page。
我们今天的 Q&A 没有 slides。
哦，对对对对对。
但是我有一个封面，我可以 share 我这个封面。
你把封面弄上吧。
好的呀。I'm not live. It said I'm live.
Yeah.
I'm not live. 我可以 share 我这个封面。好的呀。Oh, because it's unlisted.
Oh. Listed.
Public.
Public. Not private.
，I'm live, right? Okay, okay, okay. Now I am live. 哎呀，我背景有点混乱。哎呀，这个用肩膀挡一挡。
你要有个 virtual background。
啊？
选一个 virtual background 好了，选一个 picture。
但是我还是比较喜欢我家里的 background，就是我桌子有点乱，这么搞。哎，就这么样吧。之后对，你要 share 我一个 cover photo， 我来 share。
OK。
你们看到我的 cover photo 了吗？
对。
哎，好，那就这么低。So Carl, the whole 2 o'clock, I think lots of people logging in right now. So we are going to do this in English the whole time. Yeah, feel free to ask me all the questions in English, and the whole time, I think people can just come in directly. I can also make a co-host. You want to do that?
I can do that, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see how to do this when everybody's trying to get on. It's really hard to, let me see how to do co-host. I don't know how to say co-host. Let me stop sharing very quickly and make you co-host. And make co-host. Awesome.
皱眉头就心痛，我没空理会我，只感受你的眼神，一样往那头，把我灵魂也带走。他为你着了魔，留着有什么用？你是天，你是光，你是唯一的鲜花，我只爱你 ，You are my superstar。你就在。
All right. Hey guys, we are getting started. And this is Dr. Nancy Lee, and today we're going to talk about how to get promoted for women. And today's format is different from our old format. It's not me going through presentations. Today is more a conversation and based on the questions and people have submitted prior to this live webinar. I wouldn't call it the live chat, right? Live Q&A. And at the same time, we have lots of people watching on YouTube right now, and I am going to answer questions on YouTube as well. There's lots of chat. You guys, please put your questions in the chat because I'm monitoring all the chat as we're speaking. And Carl is a co-host today. Carl is also collecting chat in questions on Zoom as well. And because today the workshop, we have lots of international audience as well. The whole workshop will be in English.
Okay, great. Thank you, Nancy. Before Nancy start the workshop, the Q&A session, I would like to introduce Nancy and our Long Group, who is the sponsor of this event. So I'm Carol, the founder of Seattle Long Group. We are a 500 elite member social group from Seattle local technology companies like Amazon and Microsoft. So we organize outdoor activities like hiking, crabbing, oyster harvesting, Airbnb parties. And during COVID, we started to have online activity like career workshop series and book club. This is our 7th career workshop and the second time collaborate with Nancy. Dr. Nancy is an entrepreneur, a director and a YouTuber. She is an alumni of Boston University and MIT. And during COVID, she's got 3 director of product offers. It only took her 4 years from a PM to director. So I've subscribed her email and heard this good news. And right off the bat, I have an idea of inviting Nancy to share her secret sauce of success. So today, please join me to welcome Nancy.
Hi guys, thank you. Thank you for having me, Carol.
Okay, so after collecting those feedback of questions, our first top question is how to bridge the gap between an IC to a manager.
Great question. So first of all, let me unshare my screen so that you guys can see me. So for all the audience, feel free to turn on your camera or off or ask me any questions directly through voice as well. So to Carl, for your first question regarding how to transition from IC to a director or leadership role, this question is very, very broad, but I do believe that the specific formula, several foundation things, everything you need to know and think about. Let's start from the beginning for step 1 regarding transition from IC to a senior level or manager or director role. The first thing everybody needs to think about is that what your bosses or your director, for example, if you want to jump from IC to manager, so what your manager is doing, is there anything he does different than what you are doing today? For example, as a manager in lots of companies, and he or she will do lots of cross-organizational like meetings or brainstorming like sessions and do lots of collaborations with different teams. And things like this is something you need to start doing as well. And in addition, if your manager or your director gives lots of presentations, or the way he or she gives presentation is way better, way powerful than what you do right now, you should start working on those things as well. So basically look into where your next level is doing and try to start to do those exercise and the practice ahead of time as well. This one thing as a foundation. And the second thing as a foundation is also why. So the question for why you want to become a manager or a director or getting promoted in the future, if it's just for the personal ego, it's very easy for other people to tell you're trying to get up there to have your personal satisfaction. But if the reason for you to have a leadership position is to lead a bigger team, to make a bigger impact, or for me, if my brand in my company is that people in my company that all know, and Nancy is very good at like leading people. She's very good at empowering others, and she's also very good at teaching, helping people down the road. So when myself getting promoted in the company is more towards I'm lifting other people with me together. So why you want to get promoted is a message people can see through your behavior as well. So make sure you get your why very straightforward, and don't make it just for the personal like ego satisfaction, because eventually it's going to hurt you in the long run. So now we lay out those two fundamental things on top from IC to a director or manager level is that you, first of all, you need to build all the necessary soft skills. The thing is behind that is, for example, as myself as an immigrant, and I'm Chinese, and when I moved to the US, my English wasn't good. And I also believe that all the international professionals face similar issues as well, right? So in that case, what does this mean for everybody doing this kind of like talk or career like advice with everybody and thinking about promotion is that how can I start to improve something I'm lagging behind in terms of English, right? Pronunciations or public speaking skills. And hold on one sec. I think I need to share. One sec. I think I need to pin myself something very quickly so you guys can see me. Okay, great. Then it's better so people on YouTube can see a bigger view of myself, right? So first of all, is we talk about the first thing you need to work on is your basic language skills. And the second part is all other important soft skills people need to work on. For example, public speaking skills. It's very critical skills all the leader possess, and the better you are giving presentations, the better you're perceived as a leader. And the third part for everybody needs to do is think about how would you be able to work on important and big like project in different organizations. If companies give you the opportunity or you found the opportunity to work on something very important, and in general, your visibility to all different teams are also very big. So understand what the right skills you need to have, all the soft skills you need to possess, and also figure out what is the right project, high profile project you need to have. And then finally is to find your own like sponsors and mentors, allies. Then you are able to build your own group of people to say, wow, this person, let's say Nancy, has a great leadership potential when you are not in the room, and everybody else who are your allies or sponsors and mentors can jump in to give you a promotion. That's when the behind the scenes happens. So from IC to the director level is how people get promoted within the company. And another tip I want to give all of you guys is that the faster way to get promotion is actually to jump between company, jump ship. And this happened to me and to other people. And I also got promoted internally with my own company as well. But the combination of jumping between different companies and know how to show yourself as a potential leader of the organization can actually help you to speed up the process.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. So you basically mentioned first is the presentation skills, and then we need to do some cross-functional projects. So in terms of presentation, what kind of training program or professional program do you suggest?
Great question. And I personally spend about like $30,000 in investing all the potential soft skills I can work on. Specifically, presentation is something I work on very early in my career. And the specific courses, the ones I took before at Dale Carnegie. So Dale Carnegie organization is very good. They're teaching methodology based on the book, how to influence people and make more friends. I think, yeah, win friends and how to win people and make friends, something like that. That book, like $10 book, everybody had read before. So they turned it into a training, and specifically the high impact presentation course I took, I think that was pretty good. And in addition, I also had the MIT tutoring service because I went to MIT. And anytime when I need to have someone to review my speech and I would just go to MIT to have one-on-one training as well. On top of that, I also go to Toastmasters. I encourage everyone to practice in those Toastmasters, the club as well.
All right, thanks. Yeah, Microsoft offer 10K credits each year, so it actually includes Carnegie's training. I went to the high impact presentation training as well. It was a 2-day intense training, but you can take it through the whole week, and each day like 3 hours. There are 2 choices you can take, and our 10,000 credit actually cover a lot of different programs you can check out on the website. I think we need to make the most advantage of this credits. Another question is,
Yeah.
Enough for the water for Bata?
Yeah.
Too much?
mute. Let me mute everyone. Another question is, so you mentioned cross-functional projects. What about those like data science conference, brown bag hackathon? You know, in office we have the FHL week. So how about those? Are those good opportunities as well?
Yeah, very good part. So let's define the cross-functional project, like what your boss and the future leader will be doing all the time when you become the next level of leaders in the organization. Cross-functional teams and projects are defined as you're stepping outside of your current function. If you are a data scientist, you're working with marketing or product team to together launch a product, address a problem. That's the right way to go. So as an example, you mentioned brown bag. I assume you're those kind of brown bag, like a TED Talk kind of things. That's good. And if I can define it more specific, the most effective cross-functional collaboration is something that directly will impact the stakeholders' influence for your company. What it means is that if you and the other team work on specific things together, and you're able to improve this like stock price of your company, you're able to build better product, you're going to serve your customer better. So those things definitely directly impact the fundamental revenue, income, and profit of your company. So those kind of collaborations everybody needs to start to work on.
Got it. All right, thanks. Let's move on to the next question. So the second top question is, how do women win respect from coworkers and get voice heard and influence others?
I have a very interesting perspective and lots of like tips behind it. Not a lot of people feel the same way, but this is my observation. But I have heard other female leaders said and mentioned the same thing as well. So what happened was, as a woman in general, you start to think about how are you able to change your image a little bit to make it more professional. And for example, I've seen lots of entry-level young women made mistakes in terms of their dress code. For example, if you are a software engineer, do not dress something too fancy. If you dress like a front desk girl, nobody will treat you as someone who is very technical. So start to change your dress code moving forward, and do not wear something like too short and other stuff. That happens. I've seen that before. So make sure you dress up the dress code to what your profession is. And the second people need to think about is the tips for women is that whenever I give presentations, I would usually wear super high heels myself so that I'm taller compared with my other coworkers. I'm very petite in my companies. So if you're also like small petite women, you should also think about how can you like either wear higher heels or dress in a certain ways for you to look like you know what you're talking about. That's in general, that's more superficial level. Now, the second level as a woman, which is also very fundamental for everybody, is how would you be able to stand up for yourself and continue to build a brand to be someone who is very assertive, someone who is very tough, someone knows what she's talking about. So your personal brand as a woman or as a man as well in the organization is extremely important. If you build a brand as I'm very likable, I'm very approachable, yes, it's a good brand, but that means that people will promote you. in the future with this brand. Maybe not, maybe yes, I don't know. But my brand is, oh, she's very likable. I don't like the brand. So then my brand, I build on top of that is she knows what you're talking about. She's very assertive. She's very good at like public speaking. She's very good storytelling. So all those specific brand and I have built for myself is will put you towards the promotion track. So as a woman, we need to think about how can we stand up for yourself and to remove other irrelevant traits just because you are a woman. And the next part I recommend all the women to do is that if there is certain scenarios or opportunities and people start to ask you to do some admin work. So this happens a lot earlier in my career. I believe will happen a lot to other women's career if you're earlier, that people will say, okay, so Nancy, can you take notes? Or to say, it's a group of people with lots of men, you're the only woman, people ask you to take notes. Or, oh, Nancy, can you buy coffee for everybody? That's admin is doing. And in that case, I will stand up, say, no, this is someone else. Tom has a pen and a paper. Tom, can you do that as well? So I will push those specific like admin work to other people and set a boundary regarding I am the director product or something in the room. I deserve to do what I need to do. Of course, after I become a manager or director product, those things never happened to me at all. But earlier in my career, when I was an engineer, those things happened as well. So women need to choose in certain battles, you need to fight. In certain battles, you need to be smart about how to respond to those different situations. And the final thought I have for all the women regarding how to gain respect with your coworkers, different things, is that you need to build your allies. What I mean is that, for example, earlier in my career, when I was an individual contributor, in those meetings, I was the only woman, sometimes only minority, basically it's the only thing the whole time. In this situation, whenever I want to make my voice heard, it's very difficult. And even if sometimes there's the man in the room, that man also has an accent, people will listen to what he's saying, not me. In this case, I learned how to strategically work with my allies. So those allies sometimes are my managers or my peers in the same group. They know I have lots of value to the group. And then they will drop some hint to say, oh, Nancy, you just said something very smart. Can you repeat? Then they clear the room for me. So women need to be very smart regarding how to make yourself stand up and what you say. And anytime you capture the opportunity to say something, you got to be very, very smart. Your comment has to stand out as well. You can't waste those opportunities.
Thanks, Nancy, for the tips. I think for Asian girls, usually we would like other people to think we are likable or approachable. But I think white woman may be more bossy or tough. They build the image of like a strong woman. So I went to a women leadership training recently, and the coach told us to be bossy. What's your suggestion here?
The term bossy, I like it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And of course, sounds more aggressive than likable. She's very likable. If I can choose between she's very bossy, she's very likable, I choose bossy. The part regarding bossy, what it means, I think we'll believe that what the coach means is women need to be tough and you need to be the one who can stand up for yourself. You would rather to be somebody who say, no, this is not the right thing to do, compared with you become a pushover. I believe that's the message she wants to deliver.
Yeah, got it. All right. And is there a fine line between bossy and tough?
Very good question. And I do think there are some fine lines behind it. And for example, for bossy, you could be somebody who boss people around, but you put people above, you put yourself above others. That's something nobody would like to have that kind of feelings. But regarding tough is more towards you are the one who knows what you're talking about, and you just want to express your opinion in a very assertive way. So we need to strategically choose how to do it and what to do.
Okay, can you please give an example of what is bossy, what is tough? Okay.
For example, if you have the opportunity as IC, individual contributor, when you want to like have an image who is tough or sometimes could be bossy, sometimes things like that, you need to find, for example, some kind of opportunities that instead of having everyone else to do the job you give to them, and you need to find opportunities in like create like leadership opportunities for yourself and saying that Tom and John, so we need to work on this together. Why don't you get this first part down by Monday, and John, you get a second part down by Tuesday. We will all sync up together by the end of this week, and together we're going to achieve certain goal together, right? So this is more towards, as an example, you put yourself in the leadership position, and I do like that. And I don't think there's anything wrong as long as and you don't put yourself above other people. You're always talking in terms of we together are going to achieve a better outcome together. And the proposal you give has to be very smart, and people is able to see, yes, together follow the right plan, we're able to get more things done together. So that's one example I can give.
Got it. And there is some situation where some other people steal your credit. I've seen those a lot, especially for women. How do you deal with that?
I have personal stories about this, and this happens a lot, and very interesting behavior around who you work with. For example, that's why at the very beginning, I recommend everybody to work on your public speaking skills, all the soft skills, like how to tell stories, any like how to sell, and all the like or personal branding. All those skills together are very important. Was because sometimes the person may not want to steal your credit on purpose, might be an accident. For example, anytime when we give presentation as a product manager, I would recommend people to specifically, especially people in my team right now, to be the one who gives presentation. That was because the person who gives presentation or accidentally perceived as a leader of the group. Of course, each time when we build a product together, is a whole team, a team of maybe like 30 people have touched a product together, but the person who gives presentation will accidentally perceive as a leader, and he might accidentally steal your credit. So lots of things happened to me as well earlier in my career. People would say, okay, Nancy, you're very technical, you did this, you're the PhD, you did modeling, so why don't I give presentation? Right, things like that. They might accidentally steal your credit. In that case, you need to like step up and saying that, well, I like to give presentation as well. Last time you gave it, this time is me. But the key part to everybody is that, yes, you need to fight for your credit and bring all the opportunity to yourself to give a presentation or to be the one who delivers the message, things like that. But you cannot waste your opportunities. For example, if this is the first time you give a presentation, yes, you might not be very good at doing that. But if you waste opportunity the second time, third time, you're still very bad, nobody will invite you back anymore. So that's why it's critical. Everybody needs to work on all the soft skills that's necessary to help you to get the opportunity and also impress everyone when you start to talk.
Got it. And I think many developer has this confusion that they think PM tend to promote faster than SDE. Do you think that's a right thing, or how do you think about that?
I disagree. I think PM getting promotion, the promotion track PPM are as hard, maybe even harder compared with other professions. The reason is that it depends on who you compete with. For example, in my prior organization, I was the only female manager out of 100 people product management organization. The person I need to compete with to become a director, they are all American, majority are men, and their English are better. Everything is fundamentally they're better. So which means I need to work harder on all of my soft skills to be even in the same level. Of course, I always work very hard. That's why I got promoted as a director in other companies. So, but my point is that it is as hard and even harder because the competition is much harder in the PM field. If you guys just want to get promoted, that's a different reason. So every time when we hire product managers or promote everybody, if somebody's purpose is just to get promoted, it's very easy for us to tell, and nobody will promote you. If we smell that, nobody will do that for the purpose of promotion. I had experience interviewing another woman. She's also a minority. I really want to bring her to our team, but the conversation she had with everybody in the team is about, so she came from finance. So, oh, if I transition from finance to PM, does mean that I'm going to have faster promotion opportunities. So how does getting promoted? What's the next promotion coming up? So everything she talked about is she just wants to get promoted. Well, instead of, I really love being a product manager, the specific, unique leadership opportunities that product manager can give this position, I personally believe is my most fun position I have ever had as a product manager. Yeah, and we serve people. We really have the customer empathy. We want to solve problems. We are also in the leadership position to lead engineers and designers to work on things together. If people come in not seeing what product manager is, but thinking about, oh, I'm here so that next year I can be a VP, doesn't work that way. Nobody will promote you if for the purpose of I just want a promotion. Is very straightforward. Yeah, that's in general my personal opinion.
Got it. I think one last question about women's leadership or women's influence. What if a male coworker despises you or say something like, "Oh, you silly"? What would you do?
That didn't happen to me. It just happened to me. I will be like, first of all, you need to understand where it's coming from. Maybe this person say it not because you're a woman, just in general, he might be somebody like to drop things randomly, so you need to understand the situation about who that person is. Maybe in general, he likes to say things to people. So can you tell me more about the person? Do you think he's against you? Do you think he's against women? Or do you think he's against minority? Or in general, he just like to say things that way to everybody?
I think in general, that person is like playing cool and like playboy.
If in that way, it's not against women or minority or anything, right? So don't take it too seriously. Don't put it towards the race or sexist direction if it's just him. But if this random cool boy said the same thing to me, I would ask, so what do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Don't say anything after that, and don't say anything towards, so you mean I'm a woman? You mean what? You mean I'm not technical? Don't have any follow-up question. Just say one thing, saying, oh, what do you mean? To ask him. Then it's up to him how he responds. And in addition, the second way to respond to it is to make a joke and throw it back to him. And honestly, like making joke live when those situation happens, it's a skill. And myself is also looking for like stand-up comedy, like classes for myself, continue to learn this. What I believe is also very interesting, great skills that you are able to throw in some jokes, but you've been using jokes as a weapon to throw this hurtful comment back at the other person. I don't know how to make a joke using the example you gave me. That's why I'm taking a class and trying to learn it myself as well. But in general, that's the two ways I would do.
Got it. Thanks, Nancy. And move on to the next question. I know you find 5 mentors and some powerful sponsor. How can you tell us a little bit about the secret how to find 5 mentors?
Yeah. This is my personal experience. This may not be very typical and applicable to everybody, but this works out many times in my career, while working for several Fortune 20 technology company. My personal experience is that those mentors and the sponsors is a mutual selection. It's not one way. It's not you go up, can you mentor me? Doesn't happen this way, at least to me. what happened was that the mentors also select me ahead of time, but we never directly talk to each other saying that, hey, Nancy, can you be my mentee? And things didn't work that way. But underneath it, it's a mutual selection. He or she also select me ahead of time because my branding, my public speaking skills, everything, who I am. And also, I also select a mentor was because there's something unique about the person I really love to learn. The reality behind it is that any mentor, let's say you have VPs or whatever directors in big company, they are also looking for mentees. They're looking for their teams. They're looking for allies. So when they're looking for allies and teams who is going to help themselves to build a bigger team or bigger empire or whatever they want to do in the big organization, they're also looking for new talent, young talent that can join their ally group. So if you had built your brand as somebody who is like a very assertive, who have leadership potential and all the great traits about who you are, you're likely to be spotted by the specific mentor. And then when you reach out to the mentor, everything becomes very easy. I like to use like dating as an example. I also think like, especially for interview or a career, it has a lot to do with dating. Same thing for mentorship. As an example, for example, if you, a man or woman, if you really like the girl, and is a girl also like you as well, but she didn't tell you. So it is so easy for you to go after girl and just quickly ask her out. The answer is yes already, because you already present yourself to improve yourself to be a better man or woman. And then when you really try to like take each other out or like date, whatever, you are already pre-matched even before you start the conversation. So same thing as finding a mentor, sponsor, everything. You need to present yourself, improve yourself to be the next Steve Jobs. Like, who doesn't want to mentor Steve Jobs? I bet there is like long pipeline people inviting him to be his mentee or mentor, things like that. The question is, how would you be able to present yourself to be the next generation leader? And especially, this also a new lessons I learned in reality is that my the first advice I was given as I was became a director, my boss told me that, Nancy, you're director now. For your time is very valuable. For some like making decks, those smaller tasks, you can just have someone else do it for you. And you focus on what's the most important thing that is going to drive the organization moving forward. Same thing as your mentor, those are VPs or EVPs or CEO or any kind of high level person. Their time is very valuable. If the person can dedicate, let's say 1 hour per month to mentor some upcoming young person, why they will give you the 1 hour? There are a pipeline people who want this 1 hour. You need to focus on how would you improve yourself, improve your value, improve your brand, so that you will be selected to be given this 1 hour. So that's the differences. That's why I think people really misunderstand. Oh, I need somebody to mentor me. He doesn't want to mentor. Focus on yourself. Improve yourself. That's why I personally spend like $30,000 learning anything that I can improve to make myself a better person, bring more value to others as well, and sharing with others and teaching others. You always need to improve yourself. Then it's a fair trade for their time as well. So this is something I personally believe that's how mentorship works. If you guys have different experience, please let me know as well.
Got it. So here, what you said is you can identify some people that might see your potentials, but you need to be nosy and very sensitive about who around you like you or really appreciate your effort, right?
I don't think you're nosy and you can tell. Other people will give you a hint that, so if you have great soft skills, you can feel, you can know, you know who likes you. You already have confidence that this is my brand, this is who I am, I have a face, I'm going to get to somewhere far out, high, sometime in the future. And when you interact with any person, any senior leadership in the organization, you can smell a sense, is this person in general has a great relationship with me, or does the person really see what's a spark in me or not. Sometimes when you reach out to senior leadership, and some of them will come back and say, oh, Nancy, I have heard of you before. This is our first time I reach out to that person. So I know who you are, have heard great words about you. Then oh, that's a great indication that person already have pre-selected, would like to continue the conversation with you. So you don't need to be nosy, you just need to build the right soft skills to be able to fail it. And it's not an equation. Is once you start to engage with others, you can tell who are more likely to help you out down the road.
And you mentioned you build your personal brand. So I know YouTuber or entrepreneur are your branding, and within the organization, how do we build our brand?
Very good question. So first thing is that you have, first of all, you want to define your brand. You want to be likable. Does you behave differently if you want to be likable, or you want to be someone who is confident, or someone who is like very knowledgeable? Define your brand first. And second is that you need to have your 30 seconds elevator pitch ready. And I built a specific video about 30 seconds elevator pitch on my YouTube channel. I can send you guys the link later on in this process. Is that you need to describe your achievements, your brand within 30 seconds during any encounter, like interactions, and when you encounter other, even your peers. And you need to tell them what your brand is. You need to tell them your achievement. You need to show them that that's a value you create for the organization. So I teach like how to get a job as a product manager. So how would you sell yourself in 30 seconds is also part of my bootcamp. But today we are not going to go through the entire whatever module, how to do it, but specifically in those, the video gonna send you guys that has a specific framework, and you guys need to use to show them. And now the third part is also, for example, you know how to use 30 seconds framework to talk about your achievement, your brand, you choose your brand. So now the next part is that, would you be able to demonstrate in your daily opportunities, right? So when you work on project, your body language, how you talk, would you be able to stand up to present that kind of image you have? Let me give you guys something very straightforward, and I bet lots of you guys haven't done this, is that I know today's majority of people listening to the talk, you might be in similar boat as me. You might be either you're a minority or you might be a woman, right? In either way, let's assume if you're also a minority, which means maybe like me, English is not my first language. I would challenge all of you guys. How many of you already spend money to take English pronunciation lessons and spend money to take the English writing classes to improve those fundamental skills, right? So having those fundamental skills ready is going to prepare you once you're able to oh, I'm a confident person, but you don't even know how to write well. You don't even know how to pronounce or improve your English very well, right? Of course, you can go by being an individual contributor, by being a technical expert, given where you are with your language skills. But if you want to get into the next level, I challenge all of you guys to really put some serious training into how would you improve yourself on those basic skills. And now you build a foundation of who you are, then you can, in the daily active opportunities, to possess those brand you have. If you are problem solver as your brand, how would you be able to solve problems on your day-to-day opportunity? That's how you carry out. That's why everybody know your brand even before you start talking. That's the three parts.
Sounds good. Thanks, Nancy. And please check Nancy's YouTube channel to learn about those 30 seconds speech and everything. The last question is how to thrive in the team with all Caucasians, but just several Asians.
Say that again.
So it's a minority question. How to thrive in a team with all Asians, but just the 2 Asians or a couple of Asians in this kind of team. Because one of the feedback of the question says, in her team there is just 2 Asian women, I think, and then all others are white people. It's sort of challenging to thrive or show herself.
Okay, good question. If I can summarize this question, is more towards what if you're the only one or two minority in a male or white dominant or Caucasian dominant environment, what should you do, right? So the first part is that you shouldn't feel discouraged because you're the only minority. What you need to focus on is that observe in your team environment when people build, like do team building activities and engage with each other. What do they do, right? If they as a team, when they social, lots of things happen during social, right? If it's a social, people like to drink every Thursday. We have something called Thirsty Thursdays. Even if, let's say, even if you don't drink, and I know American drinks a lot, I know my parent company, they have whiskey tasting night. And then they say I one whiskey, I'm knocked off, they can't do this. But you need to show up as a minority. What this means is that, yeah, maybe you don't like your other American coworkers doing this and that, or they like to watch baseball games, right? Like things like that, lots of stuff you may not like, but you need to show up. Showing up doesn't mean that you need to have deep understanding about when Tom Brady get traded to another team, things like that, which also means that you just need to show up and join the conversation and be there. That's something you need to start to think about. How would you behave differently? And then now second part is that you should still focus on what the value you can bring to the organization. How can you improve yourself? And I don't think that those like your American coworkers will just try to eliminate you from their conversation. That's a lot going on was because maybe they feel like you do not want to do social time with them, or it's very difficult to have a non-work conversation with you to build bonding with you, things like that, right? Now you need to make it easier for others to bond with you as well. So that's in general what I advise everybody to do. Yeah, don't see it towards, oh, I'm the minority, everything's. I don't think people would like to make it very, very difficult for you. It's more towards it's harder to engage with you. You need to make it easy for everybody to engage with you. That's the truth behind it.
Awesome. Thank you, Nancy. I think we covered all the important questions, and now we give the time back to the audience and who would like to ask questions. Any concerns, questions, comments, and in the feedback, we also have several other questions. If nobody asks now, I will pick up one.
Let me see any questions on YouTube. How can I go to my YouTube channel, see questions? Yeah, guys, you can ask me questions on YouTube as well. On the side panel.
Feedback, we also have several other questions. If nobody asks now, I will pick up one.
Question is on YouTube. Questions on YouTube. How can I go to my YouTube? Hold on, there's a question on YouTube. They ask, what if you don't like drinking? And the answer is easy. It's not about drinking, it's about you show up. And as I said, it's about you are willing to get engaged with another person, with their different culture. Even if you don't drink, you need to show up and you say that I like to join the conversation. Because you know what? So in reality, I think the same thing happened in China as well. Lots of allies or bond or secrets or information sharing happened when you are drinking, having dinner together, you social together. You just need to be.
No.
Okay, someone unmute me. Okay,
Start.
great. Yeah. So what you need to do is more towards you show up so that you will be part of the party. So you understand that the non-surface information, all the like politics and allies, who is doing what behind the scenes. So you will be part of conversation. You will learn more about what exactly going on. There's a lot of things not happening on the surface, is under the scenes. That's why you're part of it. Has nothing to do with you drink or not. You can drink water, by the way. When people go there, you drink water. I want to be part of the conversation.
And another question, very interesting. What if you are on a all Chinese team and they tend to speak in Mandarin?
Ha 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 ha. Send them to my YouTube channel. Ha 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 ha. This is very interesting. So I recommend everybody. Okay, I need to make a YouTube video about this, and I believe several of my YouTube videos mention things like this. You shouldn't. I discourage everybody to only speak Chinese with each other. So there's a fundamental behind is that if you only speak Chinese, what American would think? It's not inclusive. You do not want to include other non-Chinese people. You're already minority. You do not want to include other people. I think that's really bad a culture you have formed. So send them to my YouTube channel. I think those 35 people only speak Chinese to each other. I think they're hurting themselves. Yeah, maybe if you're the only one who didn't want to do it, it's very hard for you to bring this up and send them to me. It's easier if from the third party, it's easier, I can tell them. But in general, that's something you can do. And the second part is that maybe you can make recommendations. You can say, well, somebody else, other teams like to join us. Should we switch to English? And the third thing, what I recommend everybody to do is that I recommend you to form your friend circle. 50% of your friend circle, half of them should be American or non-Chinese. That's something I've been doing for a very, very long time myself, and I have seen the big benefit behind it is that people need to hang out with others that you can learn from. If you only hang out with people similar to you, how would you learn from others? Yeah, of course, you learn from other Chinese or other people, but other American or other non-Chinese people, there's something better than you. It's important you hang out with them as well so that you learn something from them. So something about learning, I really want to emphasize with everybody listening to this talk. I also believe that this is the most important message I want to share with all of you guys, is that there's no shortcut to success in your life. The path to it is that, first of all, you need to invest in yourself, learn from someone better than you. The way you learn from someone better than you is the two ways. Either you can convince somebody to teach you for free, or you pay somebody to teach you to learn some unique skills that you do not have. Either way is fine. You need to hang out with someone who is American friends, whoever is better than you in certain ways so that you learn from them. But to be honest, if you want someone who is really high level, for example, some VP or whoever want to teach you, because they are not just, I take a $9 lesson about how to become a VP, then you become a VP. It doesn't happen that way, honestly. You seriously need to figure out how can I convince somebody or even pay somebody to teach me. I personally spend like lots of money to have someone who is really good to teach me, to help me to be the next level. So figure that out first. And then those people can help you to improve from, let's say, 1% to 80%, 80-20 rules. And then you spend lots of time practicing what a person teach you so that you can improve from 80% to 99% to 100%. There's no shortcut to success to life. You need somebody who can teach you, who's better than you. And you also need to practice really hard as well. You need both. And I really want to also redefine what I mean by teaching. Yes, you can get somebody's like advice, let's say like advice here and there, one tip advice. Today you got lots of advice from me. It's different from teaching. Teaching somebody hold your hand and help you to implement and improve and have tailored advice to who you are. I think that's the most effective way to learn. If somebody just hears someone's tip and advice, and there's hundreds of you guys listen to this talk in 2 different channels right now, how many of you guys will immediately become a director? It doesn't work that way. People really need to think about redefine what is learning. I challenge all of you guys to spend, let's say, 1% of your salary per year into learning. Hire someone to teach you. If you work for Amazon, whoever who works 200 grand, I know lots of people say, right? I teach negotiation. You make at least 200 grand working for Amazon or 300 grand for Google, those places. Let's say you make 200 grand. 1% of your salary is $2,000. I will use those $2,000 per year to hire someone to teach me, to improve me. Very fundamental, very basic. The return on this $2,000 is significant. Of course, for someone like me, I don't spend 1%, I spend 10%, a much higher percentage to improve myself. This is the most important investment, and also the only investment that is have positive return, guaranteed return over the long run for sure. That's the most important message I want to deliver to all of you guys. You guys buy expensive cars and other stuff or bags. Take a percentage of that money, invest in yourself, learning from someone better than you. So therefore, you need to have 50% of your friends that are not Chinese, 50% of your friends that's you think you can learn from. That's how you improve yourself. And the other 50%, you can just casual, you figure out what you do for fun together. Have a percentage of somebody you can learn from. That's part of your social circle. So I discourage everybody who only speaks Chinese at work, send them my video. Okay, ask them to subscribe to my YouTube channels, and then this video, I will convince them this is really bad, you're hurting yourself.
Thank you, Nancy. I really like that. Yeah, investing in ourselves is the best investment. Next question, is taking more working in a team helps for getting promotion and becoming a manager, or better to smartly choose some more important projects?
Of course, the second one. Working smart is always a way to go. Working hard, but nobody see it, I think that's the worst thing could happen to a person. That actually happened to one of my students. So last year when I taught her how to stand up for herself, something very interesting happened. Was that in the past, she didn't know how to push back. People always ask her to do more work, and she likes to do it anyway, but she end up, the more you take tasks, even she's working 80 hours per week. Now I said, no, did you get promotion? Did you get paid more? You work 80 hours per week? No. Then she started to learn how to push back in the right way, and then how to work smart. Of course, work smart. I discourage everybody just work long hours so that you can impress others. Nobody respects someone who working long hours. That was because probably it's not efficient. So it's more about how would you sell your result to other people? Would you be able to tell others, I work 80 hours, so the achievement of this 80 hours in 30 seconds. Can you do that? If you can do that, that's way better than working long hours.
Got it. How do you figure out what you'll need to learn?
Oh, great. So what you need to learn is you need to watch who is better than you. You wish you become that person and what skills that person has. Look up and around you. Doesn't have to be in the same organization. Could be someone you interact with. Could be someone you went to conference with. You look at this person and wow, she's really good public speaking. She's really good at that. She's very engaging. She has lots of energy, or him or her, whatever, any pronouns you want to use. I wish I have that. That's a very straightforward way for you to figure that out. And the second way to figure that out is define your goal. If your goal is, I don't know, a tech lead, whatever, any kind of lead or director, VP, right? Then you look it up online. So what it takes to be the VP or director? What skills do they have? And you can find the list online. So, okay, all the VPs, they know how to sell themselves. They know public speakings, and they know how storytelling, they know how to give feedback. And in each specific disciplines, the specific niche course you can teach. I I talked to another friend, actually her company, they invited like someone, an executive coach. She specialized in teaching how to give feedback. Someone specialized in doing that, and she does it very, very, very well, right? So you can find a person teach you how to do that as well. So, but in general, those are the key skills that you need to learn when you want to, again, advance to the next level. So first of all, I mentioned public speaking skills, writing skills, pronunciation skills. You guys know this, I emphasize multiple times. And the next skills lots of people didn't work on is negotiation skills. As a product manager and also as any like director or above level, negotiation happens on our daily basis. And people didn't like this concept because it sounds very aggressive, right? But this is fundamental. If you know how to negotiate, you're golden. You move to the next level. Then now third skills you need to work on is influence. How would you influence without authority? So I joined a panel with Boston PM organizations. They had like 5 directors, including me, to give talk about how to influence without authority. And those are the great skills everyone needs to master and learn. And I personally love to learn storytelling skills. I also took a class about storytelling. And of course, if you want to become a product manager, you need to learn product manager skills, how to like prioritize roadmap. And if you want to get a job as a product manager, and you can of course check out my bootcamp regarding how to like ace those interview skills. So all the skills are critical to get to the next level. And someone also recommends I take a theater lesson because it's more towards body language and your persona, things like that. I haven't taken any theater lesson yet because my next one is how to do a stand-up comedy show. I wanna learn how to do jokes, right? So those are the key skills that everybody needs to learn. So you guys can start working on those skills today. I challenge all of you guys to put a percentage, at least 1%. I recommend 3% of your salary into learning all those key skills I mentioned. And you will discover more skills you need moving forward as well. And then you will be the top of the league, potentially can be selected that the VP would like to spend those 1 hour to help you. You have to improve yourself at the same time, reach out to other people. You can't just hope somebody give you some free time to help you out. It's not charity. If it's charity, which one of the 1,000 people I need to help out in this charity? Two things need to happen at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to check the time. So we just have 1 minute left. Can you stay longer than that, or we just take one more question?
We can take one more question. I do need to go quickly. I have another appointment happening.
Got it. What other courses name? Nancy just recommended in the first question. So that's the Dale Carnegie course, and you mentioned another from MIT.
So at MIT, it's only exclusive to MIT members. So basically, MIT had the writing service, a tutoring service. You can go in to fix your tutoring or pronunciation or writing or anything or public speaking. This all tutoring service provided by MIT. You guys should find similar kind of like one-on-one coaching services out there as well. I also know that there's a lot of executive, something called executive coaching. It's called executive coach. They will teach you similar skill sets as well. Focus on how you present yourself, your body language, all of those are together. But to be honest, all those coaches are very expensive. It's up to you if you want to invest in yourself or not. But I believe that is the best return I have ever seen on myself. It's totally up to you.
Awesome. Yeah, remember to use your 10K credit from Microsoft or Google. I don't know whether Amazon has that, but we have that advantage here. All right, so we are right on time, 12 o'clock. Thank you, Nancy, for giving us so much advice.
One more last announcement. So I am teaching a webinar. I think in 2 weeks about how do I get 4 product manager jobs during COVID, and I got 3 director jobs and 1 senior PM job during COVID. So I'm teaching a free webinar in 2 weeks. I'm going to put the link in the chat and also put the link on YouTube so you guys can check it out. I think it's also on my YouTube description, so you guys can sign up as well if you're interested in product management. This is only specialized in product management. For everything else, you guys can check out other people specialized in data scientists. But I put in the chat in case you guys are interested in my free class about how to get a job as a PM.
All right, thank you, Nancy. And Nancy is in our WeChat group as well. If you have any questions, just directly ping her or add her. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Let's meet next time. I don't know when, but we will have another session very soon. Thank you. Bye.
All right, talk soon. See you guys. Thanks for having me.
不是手，是温柔的宇宙。我这颗小星球就在你手中转动，请看见我，让我有梦可以走。我为你发了疯，你必须奖励我。